we called it. We are back with our actual regularly scheduled programming instead of trying to make stuff up during the off season. We have spreads and picks and totals for week 1. We will also be doing cool things this year where we pick our DFS stacking game of the week. A coworker of mine plays that. So I was like, hey, that's something we could talk about. And then also games we want to watch. We have a bad habit of talking about making picks about all these BS games that we don't care about, but then we miss great games. For example, Chiefs Chargers will be one that I want to watch this week, but it's hard to make a pick on. So cool new things we will be doing to split up the end of the show. Connor said he was coming, but of course is not here because he's like, I'm coming. Just wait for me, guys. And we said, screw it. We don't want to stay up that late. Anyways,
we already waited for him, actually.
That's a good point. So Ken and I are here. Hold down the fort, give you excellent advice.
Yep.
Ken,
so
anything to add?
Well, I hope you like talking about fantasy football. I don't know about you. We did all that, and I didn't use any of my advice. It came down to it, and I just started picking between names that were close in the pre-draft rankings. But no, happy to finally be talking about real football again.
Yeah, I will say my advice for stacking Nico Collins with CJ Stroud was used by several people who asked me for advice, and I was coaching them during their drafts. I said they had Nico, they both drafted with the 8th pick or 8th spot, and they both ended with Nico and CJ Stroud, just like I did. So really banking on those Texans, hint, hint, for one of the games we're going to be talking about.
Wow. Good job.
Might have to bet the Texans every week this year just because of that. All right, so we are going to start off by calling our shots. That is us making our picks. Ken, what is your number one best pick for this week?
Starting with the best pick, and it is painful to say, but it is the Steelers -2.5 against the Jets. So this has a lot to do with the narrative. It has to do with the fact that Aaron Rodgers, nobody plays more like pissed off and sassy than him. The Jets, that was his worst year in quite some time. I'm sure he wants to get over it. And the best way to do that is to completely, well, he doesn't obliterate anyone. He plays slow, but he's going to beat the Jets. So yes, the Jets do match up pretty well against them. The Steelers only have one outside threat. It's DK Metcalf, and Sauce Gardner is good enough to really hold him down. But with that being said, they're just not going to lose. The big one, they had Justin Fields last year. Justin Fields had their team. What was their record when Russell Wilson came back? Was it 4-1 or maybe 4-2, something like that?
I don't know. It just pissed me off. All they did is win, despite their quarterbacks being awful.
They kept, Justin Fields is like not the first quarterback, but he got benched after winning all these games. And it's because Mike Tomlin knew he's just not the best quarterback. He's not the best option for him. Yes, he can run the ball. He can do a great read option, and he is a very good red zone threat. You got to get down there. He also makes tons of mistakes. He didn't do it with the Steelers because he played a very muted game with them, but I think that the Steelers defense is absolutely going to own him. They are not going to be ready whatsoever for what the Steelers throw at them. The under is a close one. I'm not taking it because I can see the Steelers getting that random pick 6 or that fumble 6 or some really, really convenient turnovers, but they're definitely going to win by more than 2.5. They are definitely going to win, period. If in a survivor pool, -2.5 is not really where you want to be, especially away. Guess what? I'm totally fine if you want the Steelers in that survivor pool.
Dude, Ken just totally drinks himself with a survivor pool pick, right? Like you're going to knock out 10 to 15% of pools.
I'm also not in any survivor pools.
But it's ridiculous. This game is the only over-unders, right? They're very compressed to start the year, so you don't know what teams are like. Vegas made it very clear. 38.5 is the total for this game. It's a complete joke. Absolutely one I will not be watching. I wish I could be with Ken on this, but I don't know. I just see the Jets as one of those teams that's going to be like, we're run first. We play good defense, and turnovers are going to be the determinant of the game. And I agree with you. Justin Fields is not the guy I want to bet on, and Aaron Rodgers the guy against in that case. But it's like they just seem too risky and volatile. I brought up to someone, I'm like, I can see the Jets being sneaky good as that annoying team that runs the ball 45 times a game and just gets lucky to win too many games. And my guess was they would be like 7 or 8 wins, and then I realized their total's at 7.5, so there's no value in that opinion. It's probably like thinking generous of them, I should probably bet against it and take the under.
I will say just real quick, survivor pool. The strategy for me personally is the first couple weeks, take the good teams. Don't do the, maybe this is a good matchup, something that you take your good teams against your bad teams. Take the Super Bowl champs against the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, we'll cover that later. Falcons. Buccaneers at Falcons. I got Falcons plus 2.5 at home. Ken, all we say all the time is Baker Mayfield is at the top of the circle, which means he is coming down. If you remember the Baker cycle, it goes something like, hey, everyone doubts him. He plays well. Everybody loves him. He sucks. That's essentially the order. And right now, everyone loves him. I saw a franchise poll saying like he was the top 6 or 7 on like QBs, GMs would start a franchise with right now. And I'm just over here like, this is utterly ridiculous. Their receiving core is beat to shreds. Yes, they still have Ibuka and Mike Evans, but not a lot of depth after them. People are high on Bucky Irving in fantasy. Personally, I think he had a great year, and I just don't see it following up. But I think the Falcons are extremely underrated for how good they were with Kirk Cousins. I think Michael Penix can actually be that good as long as he doesn't suck in the second half of games, like I said, on like all the other preseason shows. Then the Falcons will be completely fine. Right? They were winning or leading, and Kirk Cousins, 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions in clutch situations or in the fourth quarter of close games last year. Penix just doesn't have to do that. I think Falcons start off strong at home and really burst everyone's bubble. I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers is probably like the generic easy bet that so many media members have to win the division. I'm full on out on them winning that division. Falcons were the team I'd like to win it, but Connor loved the Panthers. So I am just full in on Buccaneers pulling back strictly due to the arm of Baker Mayfield.
So I definitely like that pick. The big question mark is, okay, Michael Penix, like, where is he at? Is he going to take that like next step? They threw the ball a ton. He targeted Drake London a ton. They have Bijan. I mean, it's a good and a really good offensive line. It is a good recipe for winning. But
Is this dude showing up shirtless in his bed?
What is going on?
Because my computer's downstairs and I didn't want to go get it.
You're not even.
Why don't you just go to sleep,
Dude.
and we'll see you next week?
Because I remember that there's an app for this.
Oh, man.
Hey, everybody.
Dude, I need to, Connor,
okay.
This is not staying in. I wish, can you not see yourself?
Why isn't it staying in? Who cares? I'm not showing off any nippies.
Dude, it really, you look like a head was attached to like a photoshopped body.
It does.
Would you like me to stay this way?
Honestly, that's a better angle.
I've had a long day. I didn't get off work until almost 8 o'clock, clown. There are only a handful of things that I would be able to turn down because I said I had to do this.
Dude.
So if you had to guess what it was, I now have made my bed and I now must lay in it. Okay.
You are in your guest room.
I think you don't have any other options at this point.
Correct. So we have to do this now.
I don't think there's no going back now.
So we have to do this now. You have to loop me in.
Connor, go to the spreadsheet.
I'm in trouble, guys.
I think you should go to the store and buy some flowers. I think that would be the best bet right now.
They're closed.
Walmart's open.
Just let me look at the spread. I've got it. I
don't know where
we'll do it live.
I thought I was doing good about talking about Michael Penix here.
Great.
We were killing it.
Are you sure you have to cut this?
We were sounding really good, man.
Yeah. I respect it. I respect your hustle on this one.
That's not a joke, by the way. I got in trouble for that, everyone.
Definitely interested to watch the Buccaneers and Falcons. Definitely be interested to see, Baker, Chris Godwin's out. Mike Evans getting older. Ibuka looks fantastic, but he's still a rookie. I don't believe in Bucky Irving, at least season long. He's just a small running back. I like him and Rashad White as a combo, but really it'll be interesting to see. I really think it all comes down to if Michael Penix can take that next step and when he does it this year. I'm buying in on it. I just don't know if it's week 1.
Yeah, see, the problem is you're not against Baker enough. That's where I'm at. It's like full on anti-Baker. All right, Ken, while Connor looks through and gets his thoughts organized, what's your next pick?
My next pick is definitely going on team that I do think will take a step forward this year. New coach we love, new offense we love, new third string rookie running back that we all love. That would be, I'm taking the Patriots -2.5 over the Las Vegas Raiders. So I do think that Drake May can really take a step forward. You know, Diggs has come back pretty well from this injury. Looks like he's been pretty much practicing the whole offseason. He didn't play any, preseason games. He doesn't need to. But between him, Travion Henderson, and just really more so Drake May taking a step forward, they've always had a good defense. I think Mike Vrabel really just emphasizes that. And I really don't think Geno Smith's that great. I think Geno Smith had a fantastic receiving core and running back core in Seattle. Now, the Raiders have a bunch of young players like Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, and then a bunch of, well, just one really old player, Amari Cooper, who's been there for about a week. Jacoby Myers wants a new contract. I do not think that this offense figures out anything. I think we see a revamped Patriots with a good defense at home against this Raiders team that is just not coming out ready. I really like the Patriots to start off strong this season. I think that, they can be a stinky wild card team down the road, but I think -2.5 is a good number for this.
That's really funny because Ken, like you picked the games that they won't put you up on Red Zone. I'm not going to watch 5 minutes of them. And you're like, hey, I know how these games are going to play out. It's very, very straightforward. And to be honest, you're right. But I have so little emotion or care for it. I can't make picks like that. So I respect you for committing to the beginning of the Vrabel era. This is a Vrabel W kind of game.
So remember in Tennessee when were they the number 1 seed in the playoffs?
Yeah, when Joe Burrow beat him in the playoffs. I remember that.
And nobody watched them all year. Nobody even knew they were the 1 seed because that's Mike Vrabel, man. It's just business. It's just defense, kind of boring offense, and wins.
All right, Connor.
Hey, wait. I'm almost done.
You're almost done. All right, cool. I'll go one more time.
One more.
I teased it a million times. Texans +3.
Tease. There's a guy on here with no shirt. That's a tease.
His camera's off, so turn it off.
He was commanded by Phil to turn the camera off.
It's for everyone, man. Let's be real. But anyways, Texans +3 at the Rams. So Matt Stafford's had back problems, and I know Ken's going to be like, it's just a pain tolerance thing, blah, 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 blah. I think he's not a very mobile quarterback. When your back hurts, my back hurts all the time. It makes me a little slower. And he has Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson coming down after him. And the Texans are like one of the only teams with 2 really great corners to match up with Puka and to match up with Devontae Adams. So I think they can at least, cause some slight disruption for this Rams offense. I'm not worried about the Rams trying to run the ball against the Texans defense. I think they'll shut them down. The biggest worry is what the Texans are going to do on offense. And I have put all my chips in the middle of the table betting on a resurgence from CJ Stroud. Connor, big OSU guy, so I got his back on this one. But I'm just fully in that CJ Stroud goes back to, rookie year CJ Stroud instead of sophomore year, starts wheeling and dealing, looking fantastic, and Nico Collins lights up everyone trying to guard him. I think Nico is going to get boosted into that tier 1 kind of wide receiver grouping this year. Maybe it's like Jefferson and Chase, and then he's like right behind them. But I think he's going to light it up, and that's just going to make life easy for Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz, their rookies like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, I think. The only fear is the running game. I love Nick Chubb. It's not going to work out with him. He, at full speed, will be like half of what J.K. Dobbins was last year, which is nothing.
That I agree, but that was painful. Man.
That's low. It's my favorite player ever. Should retire his jersey, but I don't think it's going to, I don't think it's just going to work out for him this year. I hope they figure out something else at running back. But anyways, it doesn't matter. CJ Stroud will carry him past the Rams and get the road W to start the year.
I mean, you emphasized a few good points there, but last time we saw the Rams, they were like an extra minute in the game away from making a comeback and beating the eventual Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles. It was the last time that the Eagles looked, mortal out there in the playoffs, if you remember that. And it was in a whole bunch of snow. So their team really came together really well at the end of last year. I, as Phil said, am not scared of Matt Stafford's injury. My favorite clip ever of Matt Stafford is him dislocating his shoulder and it getting popped back in. Was it? It was against the Browns. I think it was his rookie year or second year. A pass interference deep, that first and goal on the one, like end of the game, and he plays it with he throws a touchdown or a 2-point conversion with a dislocated. Now obviously he's not throwing shoulder, but still in the game, the dude, like, pain tolerance is the limitation. Matt Stafford will be out there. But I really, really am concerned with that Texans lack of a run game. Exactly what you said. I think between that and not having a good offensive line, I like CJ Stroud. I like Nico Collins. There's just not much else on that offense. So I'd like to see the Texans, but can't follow you there.
I will say, to your point, Rams are a team that starts slow. Recently in McVay, when they first got him, he lit up the world with crazy new offense, but they have also started and gotten better. Connor, I really appreciate the effort to show your
Come on.
tatas.
Wow.
This is a family show. We talk
It
about
is a family
gambling.
show.
We
Yeah,
talk about gambling with your children.
Yeah, well, watch this. I'm gonna pick 4 in a row right here. Boom. You're gonna have to listen because I have to go back and forth between screens here.
You
I don't
can
know why. I don't know how none of you guys picked the most obvious game of the week. The Dolphins and the Colts. What are you guys doing? Do you guys remember who starts for the Colts? Do you
Danny
guys remember?
Dimes.
Danny Butt. Yeah, what? Are you kidding me? I can't believe you guys didn't jump on this. How did you guys how did you guys forget about this?
The Dolphins just don't look good.
It's fine. Does Danny
They just
Dimes ever look good? Go
Yeah,
look at his win percentage.
no.
and 6, man. He made the playoffs and he beat the Vikings in the
Stop it.
playoffs.
3 years ago. 3 years ago. And somehow Shane Steichen is still somehow repping that in press conferences. He's literally like, yeah, Danny Dimes is showing he can win in this league. 3 years ago. He's 3-13 since, you moron. The worst guy in the world who's maybe going to get some sympathy because of what happened to Irsay is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be like, let me just push the buttons a little bit longer for I'll get some sympathy. Irsay's gone. Somehow Chris Ballard has a job still. Again, just a wild situation. Now he's like going to roll out the guy that is 3-13 in his last 16 after drafting a guy intentionally to be like, yeah, he's a project. We'll stick with him. He's giving up on him after like 14 games. What a clown. This might be a hate pick. I'm not sure. Just pick anybody but the Colts for basically anything, at least at the beginning of the year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I like Jonathan Taylor and maybe I like, I don't know, the entire wide receiving core, including Tyler Warren. But I just 1.5 is basically a pick 'em, so give me the points.
So listen, they were 6-5 with Anthony Richardson last year, and since Danny Jones beat him out for the jobs, he is better, and so they should win more games. There's some stats for you.
With what reason? So the guy that has a winning record with Anthony Richardson, they're like, yeah, let's take the guy who sucks booty, and then is like, yeah, let's just go ahead and put him in there because I don't know, because he looks a little bit better when he throws the ball. Is that what we're saying? This is a hate pick. This is a hate pick.
It definitely is a hate pick. Yeah.
I think you're talking me into the Dolphins.
So my only thing with the Dolphins is nobody on their, like, Waddle has been out there, but he's only going to make it half a game. Dude always gets hurt. But Tyreek Hill just came back this week. Chan just came back this week. And I just don't know what their offense is going to look like. So I don't hate the Dolphins pick, but that's why I really picked the under. I think 46.5 is just too much.
Ollie Gordon.
That's fine.
Bulldozer.
Okay, 46. Do you think I think the under 46.5 is a better play than the Dolphins. I don't hate the Dolphins.
Do you guys have any idea? Go look at. All right, serious question. Do you guys have any idea what the front 4 are for the Miami Dolphins? Do you guys know?
No.
You have.
They got Bradley
4.
Chubb still?
You have 4 first-round picks. I think it's 4 first-round picks. That's a stat. Go look it up. Jalen Phillips, Chubb. I want to say there's a defensive tackle and one more. I think it's 4 top.
Chop Robinson
from Penn State. I think there's a 4th in there that is Wilkins.
Kenneth Grant.
Ken Grant. Yeah. Go look them up. Top 40 picks. I think all 4 first rounders. So you guys are missing out on stats right there. Okay. So you guys aren't going to tell me that they're not going to at least get after old Danny Jones. He's going to poop his pants trying to throw the ball, run around in circles. That's it. That's the pick. That's like the lock of the week. Remember how we used to do lock of the week? That's the lock of the week.
You missed the whole speech where I said we're doing that again.
All right. Well, there's the lock of the week right there. Lock number 2. If there was a second one.
Lock number 2, if there is such a thing.
Lock number 2 would 100% be anybody who's playing Spencer Rattler. I'm betting against quarterbacks this week. That's what I'm doing. -6.5. Do or die for the Cardinals here. Do or die. There is no other option. Honestly, it is crazy that division is wide open and people are still betting against them. Kyler, man, I'm still upset about last year because I thought Kyler was going to be like bounce back player of the year. So I'm a little upset that didn't happen. But this year, guys, they're like my Browns. This is the year.
I want to let you know no one's saying that about the Browns this year.
Look, I think that division is wide open. Who knows what's going to happen with Seattle? Who knows what's going to, we just talked about Stafford, but who knows? I don't know if he's going to last a year. I think he's going to last most of the year, but those guys, and then you have, who's the 4th in that division? The Cardinals.
49ers.
Yeah. I just feel like the Cardinals or the 49ers are getting the benefit of the doubt almost exclusively for like what happened like 3 years ago.
I want to let you know that Ken and I are those people giving them the benefit of the doubt.
We
for
are
what happened
always giving them the benefit
You
of the
guys
doubt.
don't think the Cardinals can win that division? You guys really don't think the Cardinals
I didn't say I don't think they can't win the division. I think the 49ers will win it. How about that?
Under what circumstances do they do that?
Brock Purdy, man. Top 10 quarterback.
No.
Dude, if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy all year, sure.
Give me McCaffrey, Kittle, and Pearsall, and that offense is going to put up 24 points a game.
Dr. Ken, please
tell
me. Please enlighten the viewers.
I just
said, enlighten the viewers. Listen. No, you listen. Please listen to the guy without a shirt. It's making a very good point. Listen, Ken, I want you to enlighten the viewers on why soft tissue injuries are a problem, and then use Christian McCaffrey as an example.
Didn't Ken do this whole thing like a couple
Most
weeks ago?
of his injuries haven't
they're
been
not hard tissues.
soft tissue.
Most of them are soft tissue. What do you mean? He's got a significant calves. He was like the original calf guy. And then he had
Achilles tendonitis. So if you actually want to say soft tissue, you're literally referring to everything that's not a bone injury, which is a fracture at this point. Like quad, hamstring, ankle spray, Achilles. My point is, when people say the unspecified soft tissue, they're talking about hamstring pulls, calf strains, and quad injuries. So worse than that, he tore his PCL and he had an Achilles tendon injury. So those are both awful. Yeah, no. Those are both awful.
Are a pretty risky bet,
dude,
is what you're
Brian
saying.
Robinson is a great back.
Oh,
never mind.
What? That guy sucks.
No.
His metrics
so let's
are
rewind.
awful.
Let's rewind real quick. Connor, do you have anything to say besides Spencer Rattler sucks and you think the Cardinals are going to make a last push before they fire their coach in front office?
It's all about Marv, dude. He loves Marv.
I want Marv to succeed, first off. Second off,
you crapped on me for...
I know you hate this stat, but do you know DVOA? Go look at DVOA for the defense for the Cardinals in the last 3 years. Went from like 28th, 24th to like 7th last year. Cannon is at least turning around the defense for them.
Okay. And do you think Kyler Murray is like a, hey, I'm going to win a lot of games quarterback? Because I don't think he's been good.
I think it's a hopeful, it's a wish. But sometimes I bet with my heart, not my head.
Last year,
you bet with your heart so much it ripped your shirt off.
I just ripped it off. And I also want you to know that I still beat your behind the last 2 years picking. So
No, you didn't. You don't even fucking.
the viewers aren't going to remember.
who needs stats for this?
I was like 60% last year. Let's remind
I was like
So that-
60% of the time. It works every time.
Listen, man, I'm here for entertainment value. That's what I'm here
No.
for. I'm like Chris
I do
Farley.
agree. Like when Kyler wins games, when that offense, when he looks good, he can run, and when he does have a decent like throwing game, like they kill teams. Like I mean, when they won, they won pretty
they
good.
have like
last year.
it is so crazy because I hate Drew Petzig. So I noticed I haven't said anything about Drew Petzig. He personally is like wrecking Kyler and Marv. Kyler does some of it himself, but anyways, I'm saying when it clicks, they blow out teams. They blew out the Rams last year at home. And it was like, oh my goodness, this team is going to go to the Super Bowl. And then late in the year, first half Kyler versus second half of the year Kyler. Second half of the year Kyler was not very good. He started throwing interceptions out the wazoo. And then it was just like, there was rumors that his knee didn't want to run and he was afraid to do this and do that. He says all the training wheels are off. He says this is the best team that they've had. Yada yada yada. I think this is going to be a wide open division. It's mostly
Okay.
just an indictment on the rest of the division.
Okay,
All right.
check this out just real quick. I looked it up. It's crazy. Last year they had wins of 41-10, 29-9, 31-6, 30-17, and 47-24. They had 5 wins of like, what is that? Like the lowest being like 13 points and up. That's pretty nuts.
And yet Phil thinks that it's crazy for me to say what I said, but Phil doesn't know ball.
You know what's the funniest about talking about this game? Me and Phil were talking. We went, thank God nobody's had anything about the Cardinal Saints because nobody wants to hear about it. And here we are talking about for about 15 minutes.
Here we go. Fine. These are hate picks.
I love it. I love it. Connor coming in angry. His wife's mad at him, so he's mad at the world.
Yeah, obviously. Well, for unbeknownst reasons that we're not allowed to say, not safe for work.
Even though
That
you already
we
recorded
mentioned
them, I have to
earlier.
go through and clip them out now. All right. So real quick, Ken and I got 49ers minus 2.5 over the Seahawks. My take on this is easy. It's like, dude, I am not buying the Sam Darnold experiment, at least in week 1, against a smart defense and like Robert Saleh coached up. I don't think it's going to.
Saleh went back there. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's going to end well. And I think the Seahawks defense is way overhyped. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to outsmart Mike McDonald. I think they're going to end. I'm in on Pearsall, I'm in on Kittle, and on McCaffrey because he's healthy right now. So I think like the 49ers, they're a 24, 28 point team every week. And I just think Seahawks are going to try to run Ken Walker into the line 100 times like they always do. He's going to pop a hammy, and then Zach Charbonnet is going to come in.
Clint Kubiak, the zone, baby. Outside zone, running all over him.
Outside zone's killer, especially when your offensive line can't block anyway. So you just get tackled 3 yards to the right instead of right behind the center.
Maybe they upgraded. I don't know what they did on their line. They were great in the preseason, though.
Dude,
I gotta tell you, do you guys not remember like the first, what was it, like 3 weeks of like the Clint Kubiak like offense last year, making like taking Alvin Kamara back 10 years.
Season.
It's
Imagine that for a whole season. You guys are haters.
You're all in. You're all in on the Seahawks. That's why you don't have this game written down.
No, I just was saying that they might be better than what people think.
Just not that good.
Just like middle of the pack.
They're going to be way better than anyone thinks. What are they going to be? Maybe like 20 overall?
Because you guys are sitting there hate picking Sam Darnold. And although I love to hate pick Sam Darnold, maybe Clint Kubiak saves him. I'm just going to be...
It's so funny because I'm the Sam Darnold lover on this call, but the year. Kyle Shanahan wins those games.
I'm definitely the same thing. I'm on the side of Sam Darnold goes back to seeing ghosts because he's not playing for the Minnesota Vikings with a good line and good receivers and good running game and good defense. He's sorry. Like
Guys,
Him,
what if he is mediocre and they have a good defense?
then the
Then
49ers only
congratulations,
win by like 6.
they're the fourth best team in that highly competitive division behind the Cardinals.
I'll be
I
happy for
just
JSN, not because he went to
I
Ohio
am I am
State.
I will say I am happy for and my man Cuppy. My man Cup Torrey Horton, by the way. Torrey Horton.
He's
I
been
heard he looks good.
he got
Colorado
MVS
State.
cut, just like
He
MVS didn't
did.
do it by himself this time. He had someone else replace
Fun
it.
fact, I did see someone say, like, like whatever, they're doing the top 100 or
Mhm.
whatever it is, like top 100 players right now, and they're releasing them like where they are. Someone tagged that and was like, surprise, Jake Bobo, number 58. I was like, man, that guy's awesome. I love that guy.
Dude, I remember watching games last year being like, why isn't Jake Bobo like a better receiver? And it's like, oh, he has a 5.0.
I honestly think he was like a 4, like 8, 9 or something insane, right? Like that was like,
But like
like
he
would
had
be
like
like
3 amazing catches too last year, and then you just
yeah.
watch him run and you're like, you can't move.
You're like, wow, you're a Clydesdale, and then you remember that he would also get caught by half of the NFL's defensive line out in the open field.
Ken, do you have anything to add for 49ers Seahawks?
No, just as much of I like the 49ers, and I am fading Sam Darnold till he shows me he can do it with a bad team.
All right, Ken, up to you next then, because I talked a bunch, Connor talked a bunch. Let's hear your takes.
I wanted to hear what Connor had to say about the Vikings, but
I forgot I listen, man. I forgot I picked them first off. Second off, I'm like, I think it's just gonna take a minute to get acclimated to Ben Johnson. I truly think that like Brian Flores, Ben Johnson is not that bad of an opening slate. I think that'll be entertaining because Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson. I mean, we have heard lots of rumors that it's not working. Caleb Williams has issues, and then he put it together in the last preseason game. You know who doesn't have issues? Brian Flores and Kwesi Adolfo, whatever their GM. They put some serious money into their offense and defense. They're going all in. They upgraded their O line. They pretty much they re-signed at least 2 guys. The Alex something, one of their outside linebackers, and then they got Harry the Hitman to come back for 1 more year. I think they're basically saying, "Look, all in." I'm not convinced that it immediately works for Ben Johnson in Chicago. That's
So I believe too much of Caleb Williams to take a pick on this
my
game. And
goodness.
just listen, I'm also not sold on JJ McCarthy, who that great game he played last year in the preseason when he threw the ball like 4 times and then said, "Oh, my leg hurts." Signed his contract and didn't play ever again.
He tore his meniscus, sir.
Well, he played
Ken,
just
we need a
fine
full
until he got
rundown on
signed.
meniscus tears right now. Give us the rundown.
meniscus, he's gonna be fine. He missed a whole year.
Yeah,
Ken,
he's
we
fine.
need you to keep a skeleton on that shelf, and then you just start picking up like, "Hey, this is where the boo boo is."
Show us
3
where the
mid-30s
bad
guys right
man
here.
touched you.
Out of our 6 menisci, I'm telling you, at least 2 are torn. Not
Really?
kidding. Yeah,
See?
I'll take credit for
See?
one.
I
Not
know
a
for a
big
fact
deal.
I have 1. That's why.
See, Phil? Not a big deal.
Anyways,
Because we're
my point
also
is,
NFL
I
quarterbacks.
haven't seen JJ McCarthy play real football. Caleb Williams at least
Caleb
was
Williams
protect.
played real football and sucked last year.
He had 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions and 3,500 yards. That's a pretty good
Stop.
rookie season.
Stop.
Those are stats.
This is
He
not
had like 3 games where he
1997.
like barely got 100 yards though.
This is
I'll give it
not
to you.
1997. This is 2025.
That's fair. All right, but I will say I
You
do
can't
think
get
Ben
300
Johnson
yards in 2 games and then 40 in the next one, man.
adds up to the same
Throw
total.
a bunch to the other team and take 20 sacks.
The sacks were bad, but I also think he had a terrible offensive coordinator. I think Ben Johnson won't ask him to do too much, but will still be a better offense than what they had last year, no matter what. Like even if they only run 5 plays, like that will be better than whatever the heck they rolled out when DJ Moore was getting bubble screens twice to the left and then once to the right.
I forgot about that. Hey,
So
4th and 10. What are we running? Bubble screen.
no, I'm definitely interested to see how like Ben Johnson works outside of Detroit.
No,
see
but see,
what
this is all right. So then you have to look at like offense versus defense and say, look, both of these quarterback coaches and quarterback offenses friendly, right? Who has a better matchup that is going to scheme guys to make it super easy for JJ or Caleb to read? Who would you say has the advantage? Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores, or Kevin O'Connell versus whoever the defensive coordinator is for the Bears? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Kevin O'Connell is more likely to scheme open easy plays for JJ McCarthy than Ben Johnson is gonna have easier time scheming plays for Caleb Williams. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree, but I also don't know how good JJ McCarthy is.
All he
Like,
has
that's
to
the bottom
do is
line.
literally just throw the ball and say, "Hey, look, what's his face? Kevin O'Connell is going to scheme open 6 guys. Pick one."
Hey, say what you want. I saw Bo Nix, who is a starter now, respectively, throw the ball literally in between 2 open guys, like on 3 or 4 plays last year. Like,
Not
he couldn't
respectively on
decide.
this show. Let me.
I'm just saying, there were
Disrespectfully.
2 guys that were like, 10 yards apart, and he hit the middle of them 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, well, maybe that was the preseason.
No, that was not the preseason. I think that was like one of those Ravens games when he had like 30 yards at halftime or something.
Well, then he grew up
He
and
turned it
became a
on.
stud.
Okay. All right.
I am
So
convinced that JJ will
I,
be an above average quarterback.
but will he be that on day one? Like, I have better hopes that Caleb Williams will be better week 1 than
I don't know.
JJ
You
McCarthy will be week 1.
honestly, like, you get the VR stuff nowadays, like having a year to sit and just like get used to the NFL might not be all that bad.
I agree with that also, actually.
Do think that like week 1 means a lot more to the Bears and the Vikings. Like the Vikings can come out and not look good, and they're like, okay, JJ McCarthy can have time to get this going, and it's at home Monday night. I like the Vikings, just not enough to pick them.
All right, we have 2 more spreads to go through. I'm going to make mine quick, and you guys can 100% scream at me for this one. Cowboys plus 8.5 on Thursday Night Football. The only reason I'm picking this is like the reverse Micah jinx, where it's like everyone's out on them, everyone's picking against them, and I'm like, hey, you know what? 8.5 is a lot of points, and I don't believe they're going to cover it. But if everyone else picks it, then I'm going to pick against everyone else. That's it.
I wanted the over, but then I remembered that Matt LaFleur likes to run the ball 60 times a game and then protect everyone and be like, "Oh, we trust Jordan Love. He was worth 270 million. Promise."
Talking about Cowboys Eagles here.
Oh crap! I thought it was Cowboys Packers. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. Anyways, same kind of still applies for Sirianni. He likes to run the ball a lot. I mean, I don't know. I wanted to take the over in that game. I did want to take the over in that game too because I felt like it was kind of light. I also mostly because the Cowboys have, I don't know. I think Ken playing free safety for him this weekend. Ken, you got to get down there by Wednesday.
Me with my torn menisci, I'll get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a joke. What an absolute mess of an organization. They're like the Aldi Bengals, I swear.
That's so bad, seeing as the Cowboys have the state-of-the-art facilities, and then there's
It's like they have all of the money that they want to, but Jerry just wants it for himself. Like the Bengals don't have that money, and then they still want it for all of them, like for themselves.
they
And they
keep every
spend,
dollar for themselves.
and they keep, and then guys, largest cap hit for 3 players. Go Bengals. 75% of their cap. Go boom. 75% of their cap is tied up to 3 players. How insane is that?
We're
It's
Browns
not
fans with
insane.
Deshaun
Trust
Watson,
me,
man.
it's gonna work out when they win the
It's
Super
worse.
Bowl. When they win the Super Bowl, it's gonna look brilliant, not crazy.
So the only reason I'm not taking the Cowboys is because I think that Dak, CD, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson are like good enough of like a receiving core to like really get that junk time touchdown and sneak this into like a 7-point game to make it look better in the box score. Like I just don't think their offense I think can do something eventually when the Eagles stop playing, but
Kind of like 40-6 in the Super Bowl, and then hey, it's 50-30.
the Eagles most of the year did not like completely like amazingly blow out teams. I just don't know what type of Jalen Hurts you're going to get. Like, I don't trust that their team's going to score that much to take them. yeah, if I had to go anywhere, I'm leaning Eagles with everybody else.
All right, Ken, then you got the last pick spread wise. Ravens at Bills.
Yeah, this is 100%. I guess I got a few revenge games on here, but Ravens plus one and a
I
half
hate
over the Bills. So I just think the Ravens defense is better than the Bills, and I think that just another year with Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, like this team like together on offense, I think just going to come out of the gates hot. I think Josh Allen coming off the whole MVP year, another deflating loss in the AFC Championship because that's just what they do. Might come out just a little bit sluggish. So that's really it. I think that fun one. I'll take Mark Andrews for anytime touchdown. He's and 0 drops.
Yeah, because it's not the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I do think that we just see a straight revenge game. I think the Ravens are the best team in the league right now, just offense, defense together. So come out strong.
For sake of time, we're going to skip over any of Connor and my thoughts on those games. I'll head over to the rest of the totals we have, and I'm going to start off easy on this one. Giants Commanders under 45.5. I wanted to take Giants +6, but I felt like this is a great way to pivot on that and get the same thought for a better value. But under 45.5, I think the Giants defense is going to be good, and I think the Commanders offense pulls back. So like just a lower scoring game. So I think the Giants would cover that +6. But in the event that I'm wrong and the Giants just continue to suck and the Commanders win like 30-0, I got a protection there. So I'm just out on Commanders, in on that Giants defensive front, causing problems for Washington. So yeah, that's it. Nothing fancy.
I do think that the Commanders are going to come out just a little bit slower. The Giants, yeah, like I said, Giants defense is good, but just a little bit of like regression. I don't necessarily love all the moves that like adding Debo. Okay. I don't know what's the dude's name? Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know who's
Crocky,
Yeah.
Merritt.
yeah.
Corey.
Krosky Merritt or whatever. Like I'm not, super sold on that part of it. I don't want to watch I just don't want to watch Russell Wilson anymore. He was a fun in Seattle when he could run a little bit and could throw a deep ball, but no, I'm done
I
watching.
am
that
in on
offense.
Jackson Dart whenever he starts. He will start soon, but not week 1.
If they skip over the Jameis experiment, I'm going to be so mad.
They
They will.
did. They already
Dude, they
did.
need
He's QB2 or Jackson Dart's QB2 now.
Dude,
Oh,
we
man.
need more Jameis on the field
Trade
just
him.
for someone.
Trade him to the New Orleans Saints.
Trade him to
Hey, anyway.
to the Browns. All right. Connor, you got an over on the Texans at Rams.
Shootout. That's all I care about. No defense, no offensive line for the Texans. They somehow decided, hey, we sucked on offensive line. Let's just try and fix it by doing nothing in the offseason. In fact, we traded and let people go. I think they let go of their guard and got the one guy that was decent. They let him go, let him walk. And then also I they don't have a running game. You just said it. Chubb is like a ghost.
Bless
He's
him.
a shell. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I think they're just going to pass. I think you're going to see CJ Stroud struggle again this year. It sucks. I'm sad because, well, I shouldn't say that. I think he's going to
picked
end
the
up
over.
being. I understand. Listen, I say struggle meaning I think he's going to throw. He's going to have like a Jameis light year. He's going to throw a bunch of touchdowns and throw a bunch of picks because he's going to be running for his life again. Maybe I would like it to be more Joe Burrow like, but I don't. I'm just a realist on their offensive line is bad. Their running game is probably bad. And you're asking a whole lot for a first year. Wait, who's their offensive coordinator? They got a new one this year. Pulled him from the
Yeah.
Rams. I think they pulled him from the Rams. But I think they picked the passing game coordinator from the Rams. So
Nick Caley.
And I think he's more kind of like a passing kind of first guy. But you still need an offensive line, which they don't have. So I just think there's going to be points in this game.
All right. Speaking of a team without an offensive line and a quarterback Connor thinks will do good, you said Joe Burrow. Ken, you got the over in the Bengals and Browns. I feel like that's one of the obvious things we've talked about.
That is obvious, and I think that people aren't giving Joe Flacco enough credit.
I knew you were going to say it.
You
I
know
knew
what
you were
that
going to say
guy
Joe
does?
Flacco.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey. You know what he does? He puts up teams, sometimes for the Browns, sometimes for the opposing team.
He does put
But
up points, yeah.
I do think that this Bengals defense is as bad as everyone thinks it is. I think that fantasy-wise, if you want to spot start anyone on the Browns, you're not going to be disappointed. I really like Njoku. I like Jerome Ford. I think Flacco will do just enough to not get absolutely blown out, and that leads to an over. So I can't wait to hear people, including being so pumped about our 40-28 loss coming up here. But I just don't.
Race.
And I don't know if Denzel Ward's playing. I love Jamar Chase. Like, oh, Denzel Ward's the best corner in the league. I'm like, yeah, he's also injured right now. So we'll see what
Ward is
happens.
injured?
He was.
Always.
I'm not sure. He's always injured.
You better
at some
hit
point.
the over if he's Jamar Chase is going to just run circles. T.
Yeah,
Higgins
but
is
I say if
healthy.
he doesn't, then T. Higgins is going to do it. I mean, like, real quick, my brother in our fantasy league, he got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Chase Brown for like 3 of his first like 4 picks. And I was so pissed about it because I'm like, damn, that's pretty good.
I can't root for the
Yeah, but if anybody decides that they want to stop the Bengals, you win.
Yeah.
If they want to, yeah. Now, I do think we have a good defensive line. I do think that we do match up well, like, against them if Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett is there. But well means, like, maybe score 33 points instead of 40. You know, we're still the Browns. Joe Flacco will look cool and make some good throws, and then he'll make some really bad throws. And like I said, it all leads to an over.
Yeah. So to your point on the Bengals and Joe Flacco, really like betting overs with Joe Flacco just makes so much sense because he throws picks or touchdowns, right? Like he gets a lot of 3 and outs, which gives the other team favorable field position. They score, and then he throws a catch up ball and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Wait, are you
I'm in
saying?
on this pick too.
Did you say the words "white Jameis Winston"? Did that come out of your mouth? I thought you said that.
Okay.
Kind of
Now-
sounded like that.
Once again, coming from a Browns fan, like those 3 games with Jameis Winston that we got last year, like that snow victory against the Steelers on like Thursday night or whatever, literally like made the whole season. They were definitely the highlights, but like it was so fun to watch an actual offense move and then, watch a defense, get a touchdown too.
What was it? It was the Bengals game last year when Watson got hurt. We were down like 21-0, and Jameis threw 2 touchdowns, and we got the ball back in the 4th. Like he actually mounted a comeback against the Bengals, and now we got white Jameis up.
He threw for like 500 yards versus the Broncos, but he had 2 pick sixes, which was
that was also an amazing game to watch. We were marching down. He threw a pick 6 at the goal line. It's awesome.
Dude, we had like
still
a 21-7
better than Deshaun.
lead.
All of this is still so much better than Deshaun Watson.
All right,
Anyways,
Connor.
Sorry.
Second last over for us, Jags Panthers.
By the way, so this one, I'm just in on both of these teams this year. Liam Cohen and my Super Bowl winning Panthers are going to be awesome. I don't know why you guys hate on Bryce so much. It just makes me so mad. Points. Take the points. Get the points. Points. That's all you need to know. Cohen, by
They're
the way,
going to run the ball 40 times with Chuba.
Why would they do that?
Because that's what they did last year.
They have Ted McMillan, and they brought back White Jesus.
And they got Rico Dowdle, man.
Yeah, listen, I honestly think that I've told you this, they're going to win that division. Panthers are going to win the division. And this is the way to start. Liam Cohen has never been a head coach in the NFL before. All we know is that he might be Ben Johnson and then poop down his leg in the first week. We don't know that. But I do think that he's going to have the offense right. You guys, sometimes, guys, you just got to see it's early in the season. We don't even know. All we have to go is with our hearts and our hunches. That's all we got to go.
So I want to let you know. I asked ChatGPT like what was the like totals over and unders the last 2 years. Unders hit like 25 out of 20. They were like 25-9 is the hit rate on unders. So like they hit 25 out of 34 games to start the last 2 years.
So Phil, if you make 7 out of 10 free throws, are you more likely to make the next free throw or the same?
I'm just saying, Everyone gets way too
Yeah.
excited, so the totals creep up and unders hit.
It's
And
so funny
Connor's
when
so
people
excited.
the hot hand theory is just like
That's not a hot hand theory. That's a real
it's the
measurable
opposite.
effect.
It's the opposite theory. It's more like the cold hand theory is what Phil is saying in
It's
history.
betting psychology. It's that you have a personal bias, so the markets manipulate that.
What's my bias? I want overs.
You believe teams are better than they are, so you bet the over because you think they're going to score.
Yeah. And how's that work out? It works out pretty
Awfully.
well.
I just said it goes the other way.
Listen, man, I'm just very excited. I'm excited to be here. I missed out on some things today to be here, and I want things good. I want good things to happen.
Starts off talking about how he only does hate picks, and now he's like, I want some good vibes. We cheered him up.
All right, guys. I might have to go because there might still be a chance. So I need
Dude, go to the
We
gas
got all your
station and
picks.
buy some
Go.
$10 flowers.
I might
Goodbye.
need to, I just gotta go, and then we'll see how my hot hand theory works next week.
Grab a take 5. They're delicious.
All right,
Later.
bye.
See ya. That's going to be so annoying to clip out the part where he joined.
Oh man, we were doing so good. Like
I know.
we were.
He had some really good takes for
He
being
had some-
shirtless in his bed.
He had some really good takes. Like I want to take the Vikings. Like that Vikings part was great. The Cardinals
The
was
Vikings
good.
and the Dolphins, man. He really sold me.
I want all of his picks. I didn't want to tell him that.
I'm glad he's gone so we could say this. Anyways, wrapping up my total. Titans at Broncos, under 42.5. Guys, I don't think the Broncos are good. I think their offense is way overhyped, and I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. I also think the Titans have a rookie quarterback, so they're going to be super conservative. They're going to run Tony Pollard 25 times, and this clock is just going to burn, burn, burn. Sean Payton is happy to win a game 17-13. I think we're going to fall right into that case right here with, just we always say is we don't believe in Bo Nix. I know the sports media might as well have Bo Nix winning MVP, but we're not part of that media. We are so small that we don't even count in that group.
Right.
So here we are. Here we are betting against Bo Nix to do anything offensively. Same with Cam Ward in his rookie debut against a fantastic defense. I thought about Titans plus 7.5, but it just seems so much easier to say, screw it. Give me the under, and I will not watch this game at all because, like every Bo Nix game, I do not want to tune in.
Yeah. I do worry about just like the, first game rookie jitters against, arguably one of the best defenses in the league. Like, looking for that like untimely like turnover, like essentially giving the team like 7 points, especially if it's like early and it can really just like make the game drag. So I don't know. There's just like so many like question marks, but I agree. We've talked about it. I'm not sold on this Broncos offense. I'm pissed that I have Cortland Sutton in a league fantasy, all those fun things. So don't hate the pick, just don't love it.
All right, moving on. So we are doing the new stuff where we have these random things that we're going to throw out. And by random, I mean parts of games that we like or people could find valuable. Starting off with the DFS stacking games that Ken and I would use if we played DFS more. We will openly admit that we aren't the biggest participants, but this is easy, right? When you play these tournament styles, you want to have correlated outcomes to a team. So you essentially take a quarterback and like 3 receivers from a game, and then like the running back and a tight, and then you just hope that is the highest scoring game of the week, and that you're fortunate enough to have the right players from it, right? Essentially, you change the strategy from picking players to picking a game, and it works out well. Anyways, so Ken, what's your number one, or what game would you be looking to grab players from?
Yeah. Phil can give you those stats on that strategy. I'm not super familiar with it, but we all know that big games, what was the highest scoring game like last year? Wasn't it in like the 70s or something? There's like a Steelers a Bengals game, something crazy like that.
They had like, it was like 30-30 at halftime.
Something crazy like that. But either way, I'm sticking with it. And just like I said before, guys, I really, really do not like this Bengals defense. I think that the Browns and, Joe Flacco, they can give up points. They can also, put some fantasy ones on. I think that David Njoku, Jerome Ford, and like Jared Judy, like before, at least with Flacco, when they're having to play catch up, are going to be viable options. But especially against this defense. But on the other hand, the Browns are going to be cheap. The Bengals are going to be expensive. I mean, Joe Burrow, I mean, he has to be one of the highest values there. But Chase Brown, Mar Chase, I mean, just a whole lot of talent on that side too. I can see this one, being a decent boat race. I don't think that the Bengals are going to get out 28-0, but I do think it could be, 21 or 24-20 at halftime, something like that. So
Yeah,
a lot of points.
Cedric Tillman is the guy I want for the Browns. Everyone's high on
There you
Jerry
go.
Jeudy. He's going to be dirt cheap, and he is their deep threat who's going to get the Joe Flacco 50-50 balls. If he catches him, he's going to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that's why I really like the Browns. You can, like Ken said, you can get him for cheap, and then you can go get all the other expensive players and put them together. My pick is going to be Buccaneers at Falcons. So I talked about it, and I'm out on Baker Mayfield, but just because I'm out on Baker Mayfield to be a winner this year doesn't mean he can't stat pad. And I think the Falcons and Buccaneers don't have the best defenses, and there's a lot of really good players in this game. They have a lot of speed. Mike Evans is, a field stretcher. Then you have Ibuka, who's got some nice bursts to him. But then there's, on the other side, Drake London, Darnell Mooney. Those guys are going to make chunk plays after chunk plays. So I am just all in on the Buccaneers and Falcons putting up good points. Their players looking good. Alternatively, it's not a lot of other games. I would actually like just running through. Actually, Jags Panthers, I think, would be my other option, where Connor said he had the over, talked me into a little bit. If Bryce Young actually can put up big numbers, he doesn't throw for 300 often, but Trevor Lawrence absolutely can chuck the ball deep to Brian Thomas. And if Tet pays off, I think that could be another one. Anyways, all right. So then I told Ken, we're also going to be telling people about games we want to watch because, dude, there is just, I know we talked about pretty much every game, but we talked about it from a betting standpoint. And there's so many times I just want to talk about a game because it's interesting to watch. So, Ken, what are the ones you want to see?
Well, first, just to touch on the honorable mention that we kind of touch on a little bit, but it's I want to see the Lions and the Packers. I want to see what CJ Stroud looks like this year. He looked great to start the year oh my God, CJ Stroud. Jordan Love. But he looked good till, or previously till he got hurt to start, came back, was doing okay. He had this groin injury, really stalled out, honestly, the whole offense. And then Josh Jacobs took the lead there. But they just got Micah Parsons, they're on a high. They have this hodgepodge of receivers. It's okay, who there is gonna come out? People are oh, Romeo Dobbs is so amazing. Jaden Reed was amazing, but he was hurt. And then of course Matthew Golden coming in. That's who's gonna step forward in that offense? I do think that Jordan Love's good enough to facilitate that, especially now that their defense is that much more amped up. But more interesting, it's the divisional rivals. You want to see what the Lions look like without Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell, great coach, love him. He's going to get everybody pumped, but you need the brains with that motivation, that brawn there. And Lions defense, it's still going to, they got Aiden Hutchinson back, still going to be questionable. I want to see how those weapons look with a little decrease on the offensive line, but they still, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, and they got weapons. I want to see if they can still do it without Ben Johnson. You have two of the front runners, obviously, for the division, but also, two, they have to be two of the top, 4 teams in the NFC betting odds too. So I think that's going to be an interesting opener there. And I talked way too much about that for it to be my honorable mention. And then
I was going to say, dude, I absolutely love this game. I think I have been with the world as the Lions are going to pull back and the Packers are going to step up and take their place. The Packers have been the young team for the past 2 or 3 years. Now they go get Micah Parsons. I wonder what kind of role he will have, given that he's been there for 7 days when this kicks off. So I'm sure it's defensive end, stand here, go get ball kind of strategy for him. But in terms of the Lions, can they, overcome coordinators like you said? But if we're wrong, I think this could be one of those games that turns out into the Lions just blowing them out, which we saw. I think we saw that last year. But Jordan Love is very interesting. I know people are high on him. It's so hard for me to entirely buy in. But Matthew Golden, to your point, I think I got him a lot in best ball. And I think he could be the guy that just blows the whole Packers offense wide open if he can be that elite 1A, and just let Romeo Dobbs and everyone else shuffle in. So I'm excited to see how they approach like their offensive scheme with Golden, and then just to see what the Lions are doing, and if maybe the Lions come out and say, "Dude, Ben Johnson put handcuffs on Jahmyr Gibbs by making him a specialized player. We're just going to let him run wild, and boom, we'll have the next 2,000-yard rusher all of a sudden, and he'll supplant a Saquon as like the rushing title leader." So again, too wide of range of outcomes to make a pick on this game, but absolutely it will be the main game up on the TV at the 4:30 window. Okay, so you also have the Jags at Panthers. Is that like that's just me and Connor? Like we break it down on this one?
I'm mad because last week I had these two as like my like fun division winners, and I was going to talk all about how I like both of them. And then you know what? You guys did it for like 45 minutes. But no, uh, I like to see uh, what's the new coach for the
Liam
Jaguars?
Cohen
Yeah.
and Dave Canales.
Yeah, well, Liam Cohen, I want to see what he can do. Like we've said for so long, I really like these weapons. Brian Thomas Jr., I had to get Travis Hunter in the league as well, but I just think that they can be really fun to watch. Panthers. My big question is okay, who is Bryce Young? He talked about it. He was so bad. We were talking about him being completely done by week 3 last year. And he got benched, came back, and he was a whole different quarterback second half of the year. I want to know what Bryce Young is out there because, that Bryce Young, that was their second half of the year, step up in defense with Teteroa, McMillan. They could be contenders for what could be like a fluctuating division. I want to see which one we got out there.
Yeah, I want to see this game because I've hyped up Trevor Lawrence as like, hey, gonna bounce back and could shock the NFL a little bit by playing well again with a good offensive coordinator, better weapons around. I keep overlooking Travis Hunter. I'm not gonna lie, like coming in the year, number 2 overall pick at wide receiver, and I know he's so valuable because he plays corner also, but like he's only that valuable because he can do something at an elite level, allegedly. So we'll see if he can actually live up to that hype and be just a dominant number 2 across from Brian Thomas, who's gonna, make life easy, taking safety coverage with his speed and his strength. Um, so yeah, excited for the Jags and Panthers. And Connor actually has the best point where it's like either of these teams could easily win their division. I know I'm high on Houston this year, but there's no reason they can't bottom out and be nothing. And there's no reason like the Buccaneers, Falcons, they don't do anything, and the Panthers actually show up and come out at 9-8 and win that division. But for my game of the week, I feel like it's obvious. It's the only game played internationally this year or this week. Chiefs at Chargers, Friday night football. So it's a special event, and the Chargers are now in year 2 of Harbaugh. They got more of their more of, the Harbaugh-esque players coming in. And the Chiefs, they just got humiliated in the Super Bowl last we saw them. So I'm excited to see, one, what the Chargers do in terms of their offense. Can Justin Herbert start to be like, a top 5, 6 franchise value quarterback and just shred teams the way he was early in his career, and then complement that with winning? And then the Chiefs, like, I think they got hit in the face big time, and they started to realize we were fortunate to win as much as we did, and we were always coming out barely ahead, and we got to get back to lighting up the scoreboard and dominating games. So I'm very excited, and I hope the Chiefs come out and attack using Xavier Worthy deep, using Travis Kelce in the middle. I mean, Hollywood Brown is still a speedy receiver they have. Rashee Rice, when he comes back, will give him that underneath element more. But until then, I think Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, 2 throws of the football, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, I think they're the 2 best at it. I don't think anyone's close. And I think they're both going to prove, like, in a great MVP battles year, that like these are the 2 guys that you should want on your team. It's not Lamar and it's not Allen. It's actually Burrow and Mahomes.
I love it. I can't agree more. The one thing that I'm really interested to see is that Chargers were, we're going to run the ball till we can't, like Justin Herbert threw the ball like the smallest amount of times in his whole career last year. And you're going to start off right out of the gates against a team that you can't just run the ball on. I do like O'Marion Hampton. I think that he fits that offense so much better than, whatever else was running the ball last year. They did release Kamani Vidal.
I
He
don't
will
even
he
know
w-
who is, but
he
like
will be missed. No, he won't.
I don't know who is behind Najee Harris at all. Like it is really like Omarion Hampton has to hit.
Yep. But the thing is, you can't rely on a rookie against the Chiefs defense week one. Like, hey, maybe we'll let Justin Herbert let loose a little early. Chiefs kind of the exact same thing. Like they're not going to be able to just lean on like Pacheco and like maybe the Chargers make him air it out just a bit more. I do think that Hollywood Brown is a little underrated right now. He's often injured. He's not right now. If he can make it through 6 games while Rashee Rice is out, like, hey, that would be a huge bonus. But when he's been out there, he's looked good. So I don't, I think that this offense could definitely look different than last year because it did. It looked lackadaisical at times.
All right. So that's it for the first week. I really hate that Connor really made me regret a lot of what I said. Laying shirtless in his bed, like, gosh darn it. But we'll see how it plans out. And for the record, Connor, I think, has been the lowest win percentage of the last 2 years, but man, can he sell it.
Well, hey, I'm happy that we did this again. I'm really going to be letting you know when the Steelers, my best pick, do better than the Buccaneers or than the Falcons do against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and I'm sure I will hear it nonstop when the Cowboys are blown out 21-0 at halftime. But it's like, again, that's the biggest contrarian pick. We'll see how it goes. I'm just excited. Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, football.
Man.
Sarah's gonna be so happy with me.
I was going to say wives are going to be so mad.
Nothing's better than I will now have an excuse to like actually stay up late and catch up on my work. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch football, catch up on work, and it'll be good.
I made a date night for Friday at 8:15. We haven't gone out that late ever since the baby's been around. And I was like, no, we're doing this and we're going somewhere nice and everything. And it's like, crap.
Just make sure you sit near the bar so you can see the TV. Ken, why have you peed?
It's diabetes. It's nothing. It's fine.
I'll get it checked out on Monday.
Oh, jeez.
All
All right.
cool. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Ken, good talking to you.